Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the All Star Wrestling Review Series for the 17th of October, 1981. We've got a few more of these to go through 81 and about 8 or 9 of them in 82, and then we're moving on to another series, but over 140 some of these by the time we finish here. 10 20, I'm sorry, 10 17 81 is your program here. We open with Don Morocco, the Intercontinental Champion with the Grand Wizard, versus Lee Wong, 248 with a tombstone. Obviously, Morocco becoming more dominant. We haven't really necessarily found complete challengers for Morocco yet. Obviously, Morales continuing to be a challenger. Probably Dominic DeNucci upon occasion and some other individuals of various note. Um, Lee Wong obviously has been a regular enhancement talent for the time period, although not exactly a intense one. Sports coat of a red and black variety and yellow, canary yellow pants for the Grand Wizard on this particular occasion. Morocco trying to hang his man upside down in the corner, not exactly getting what he wants to out of things there. Punches and basic maneuvers, and again the modified tombstone in under 3 minutes for the Intercontinental Champion. Morocco is super happy with his win, and I guess I would even say a little bit arrogant or cocky, as it were. We move to the next in the series of matches here, which happens to be a let's see, Pedro Morales defeating Pete Mitchell. Mitchell with a bit of an afro, and Morales kind of a guy you can always get a temporary short match out of. Temporary short, meaning you're not going to get a really long match out of him unless he's in there with a major guy, but getting him in for 5 to 7 minutes at maximum is a good idea. Arm drags, arm locks, and basic stuff. Mitchell tries to go to the outside of the ring, cutting the momentum off from his opponent, not really caring one way or the other what anybody thinks, including Pedro Morales at the time, and then Morales managing to grab a headlock and then Mitchell trying to send his man back to the ropes as often and as consistently as he can. Morales also managing to get a couple of inside cradles and a quick victory there. We move to the next in the series of matches, Angelo Mosca continuing his foray into handicapped or 2-on-1 matches, as it were. This time, Mosca defeating Angelo Gomez and Johnny Ringo in a handicap match. Of course, the handicap match coming on the heels of his issues with Pat Patterson and, some body slams, punches, kicks, basic things around referee. Having a little bit of issue with Mosca. Mosca not wanting to take a backward step. Tony Atlas and SD Jones up next, talking about being an eventual team and a consistent team. Talking about being friends, running together, training together, pushing each other, watching film together, and trying to be future tag team champions, trying to be a major team in the area. And Atlas coming back maybe for the team with Jones. Eventually, I believe that position a few years later is replaced by Rocky Johnson as two African American individuals. But SD Jones given the role at least here for now. Then we see Greg the Hammer Valentine up next. Blue and silver sequined robe for Valentine against Jerry Johnson. Jerry Johnson, not exactly a major challenge for Mr. Valentine here. Valentine, of course, getting ready for continuation of his quest for Bob Backlund, continuation of his quest for guys like Pedro Morales and other challenges. The Wizard removing the robe for Valentine. Arm bars, arm locks, and basic stuff. Valentine dropping knees and hammer thrust elbows onto his opponent, and Valentine getting the eventual quick win with the figure four leg lock. Valentine not really challenged in any sort of real way. Andre the Giant up next. Rare occasion for the Giant to be in town. Andre the Giant pinning Ron Shaw with a double underhook suplex and a sit down splash Andre locks on a headlock, actually does a headlock takeover. See a man Andre's size do a headlock takeover, pretty impressive. Shaw, a guy who can hang around, and Andre lets Shaw crawl up the ropes backwards a little bit and drops him right on his backside. Shaw punching, kicking, and getting a little bit of an advantage, although Andre must have enjoyed Shaw a little bit, otherwise he wouldn't have given him the 3 minutes. Double underhook suplex and a sit down splash, as mentioned, for Andre the Giant, and a victory. Not a big surprise there. The new tag team of Tony Atlas and SD Jones is here, and the returning Moose Monroe, who we saw predominantly in the 79, 80, maybe even earlier run of the program, is returning here after a long absence from the program, as it were. And obviously, Tony Atlas and SD Jones getting a win here. Not a big surprise there. Atlas and Jones kind of working together from the beginning, and kind of Atlas doing more of the power stuff, although does hang with a key lock on the arm. Monroe tries to come back, a bit more brawling, and he's wearing Christmas colors, red and green. Also, SD Jones coming in with a double axe angle off the top rope and taking a few shots at the opponent as well. And then ultimately kind of grinding things into the canvas. Eventually, Tony Atlas getting a bit of an advantage, back to his feet a bit, and ultimately the team of Atlas and Jones getting a victory here. And then we see I believe, television debut, if not definitely the All-Star Wrestling debut, of Jesse the Body Ventura with Classy Pretty Blassie. Ventura here for a very short time, couple of months, if that. Of course, he goes off to the AWA in 1982, which is where he makes the majority of his run. Big body slam by Ventura. Ventura not exactly the best in the ring, but obviously the purplish hair and a bear hug win for Ventura in under 3.5 minutes. We will be back with more right after this.